Hello, everyone. Hi, FA Nation. I'm Brandon Marianne Lee, and I am here with the one, the only, the Rotobuzz guy, Mr. Howard Bender. Howard, how are you today?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm pretty psyched. Sorry, I got like sound coming at me all over again, Brandon.
It
I don't know why I
happens.
do
I know.
this.
I have to check the mute every time.
Why don't I do that on a regular basis? I'm great. Everything's great. Week 6 starting up tonight.
Woo woo!
Um, yeah, I'm pretty psyched. If the Giants win tonight, also, on a more personal note, I get like a 32% chance better of getting lucky tonight. So root for those Giants, and that's a root for love.
Yeah, love. Yes, we'll go with that. We're gonna say it's love that's gonna be happening.
Yeah, because Deb's in it for me for the looks and the money.
And well, obviously. That's so clear. Okay. So everyone, welcome to week 6. We're super excited to have you. And I just wanted to say that you are going to be super pumped about not playing any Lions or Saints. No, I'm just kidding. What a disaster. The first bye week that has hurt me, Howard. I am not appreciative of what's happening with the people we can't play this week. A lot of high scoring fantasy options are not on the table. Any advice for the people, Howard?
No, dumpster dive. Listen, that's what it's all about right now. I mean, we're looking at a number. I have Drew Brees in the Fantasy Alarm Listener League. Who's my backup? Oh, it's Case Keenum. Yeah, I get to use Case Keenum. I mean, listen, you patch together what you can patch together. This entire year, I mean, really, I don't. Maybe I say this every year, and I'm just, I've smoked away too many brain cells or something like that. But it just seems to me like this year, more than anything, like the entire running back position is an atrocity. Like just a flat out atrocity from
Injury.
misuse. It's like committee. Everything. It's disgusting. Holdout. Throw a holdout in there. So
I can't take it.
Yeah, this is this is like buying a pair of pants and just having to keep patching it up over and over again every week.
I have some teams that are legitimately so amazing on paper that have like one win. In fact, I think actually the ones that I was the most confident about going in are the ones that I'm struggling in. And the ones where I was like, oh, geez, I'm like killing it, Right. I picked up like Philip Lindsay or something, and I'm like, oh, geez, I don't know. I'm so desperate at running back. And now I'm like, I've got the best running backs in the whole area because I picked up these people that no one has ever heard of. Yeah, you know what? It's insane. We definitely suggest that you guys keep it together. Here's how I feel, though. A lot of good players are coming back later. Okay, so like we're thinking Lev Bell's going to come back later. Leonard Fournette's going to come back later. A lot of things could swing your way or not. And so I do want to encourage people to continue because even if you're like 2 and 3 right now, I think you still have a legitimate shot at a lot of players because a lot of the leagues that I'm in, everyone's 2 and 3 or 3 and 2. So it could be anyone. So even though you're looking at your team and you're saying to yourself, I don't want to be like a cheerleader here, but I'm telling you right now, if you're looking at your team and you're saying, this is dramatically bad, I cannot handle this, just know everyone else is doing that. I had this conversation with my mother. She lost Jay Ajayi, and she is upset about it, but she has Kareem Hunt, and I can't remember who else. And I was like, Mom, it's okay. You just said one name to me. It's over for you. You're fine. She was like, no, but I'm struggling at running back. I was like, no. That's all you need is one right now.
Yeah, because
you're better than everyone else. Yeah, so don't worry about it. You just need one. So everyone, keep your spirits up. We're going to get to all your questions here. Make sure, you guys, Periscope's acting a little bit funky town, so I don't see a lot of your questions here. So if I don't answer your question, please go ahead and repeat your question. Don't worry, it will come back and everything will be happy, but I just want to put that in there. Yeah, so someone just said, nice hair, Brandon. Yeah, you guys, I am like being shot from below. I look like a whole different person. I am in my parents' home, so in Colorado, and things are a little dicey. But I'm here, and I'm happy to be with you. So
what is that? What's that fish chart on the back shoulder over there, right behind you?
The fish chart. Oh yeah, and then there's a fish tank here. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, we have a fish chart. Yeah, I don't know.
And I like the commemorative plate, the little beer steins on top there. It's got home written all over it. Ooh, anything in the decanter on the second shelf from the top?
The last time I counted, my mother has 95 crystal decanters.
Ooh, mom's a bit of a boozer, huh?
Something. She likes crystal. It's funky town. These are all empty, though. All right. So we're going to start off with our questions here, everybody. We got pick 2. Cooper Kupp, Carlos Hyde, Alshon Jeffrey, and John Brown. Thoughts, Howard? Good question to start off with.
All right, so John Brown, yes. I'll say him right off the bat there. Jeffrey, Kupp, and who was the other one?
Hyde. So Alshon Jeffrey.
Yeah,
Carlos
Hyde.
Cooper.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the thing about Cooper Kupp and Brandon Cooks is that they are encouraged that both of them will be back, which is shocking to me if you saw the game with Brandon Cooks. I don't know how he's coming back after 1 week. That seems
dicey.
Dicey. That's the right word. Cooper Kupp supposedly is going to be back. I say if one or both of them are out, maybe Josh Reynolds is a plug and play. He got his first catch of the season once these two guys went out. I think that's a possibility here. But I think it's too dicey to commit to him today. So you said Hyde, or did you say Jeffrey?
I said Hyde. I mean, only because, Hyde's going to see the touches. He's going to get the bulk of the carries there. There is rain in New Jersey right now. They're saying that it's supposed to let up, like about midway through the game, and so it could clear up a little bit. But for right now, it's a downpour in New Jersey. The field's going to be wet, and it's going to, so there's just potential there. Janoris Jenkins likely to shadow Jeffrey. So because of that and the weather, I'm like, well, I mean, if it's guaranteed touches for Carlos Hyde, why wouldn't I do that? Yeah,
and they're playing the Steelers. So I'm sorry, they're playing the Chargers. I'm sorry, what did I say? Steelers. That's Cincinnati. Sorry, everybody. So they're playing the other NFC North team.
Oh, now I know it's not just Mom who's got the old.
Hold on, I got another one right here, you guys.
Whoa, there it is.
I have another one right here.
It's odorless, it's colorless, it's tasteless. You've got iocane powder in those decanters. I know
they are all worth so much money, though. Okay, so my thought on this, though, is that they're playing the Chargers, and you can run on them. And again, I do believe that Carlos Hyde is the guy there. I know that seems impossible to a lot of people, but I genuinely, think that that's what's going to happen here. So I agree with you. I think Carlos Hyde's the one with the bad weather with Alshon Jeffrey, although Alshon Jeffrey did seem like a nice safety blanket for our guy Carson Wentz. So both are good plays. Understand the question. Okay, 2-quarterback league. I got Winston, Rivers, and Brady. Who sits out? Good.
Winston, Rivers, and Brady. Ooh.
It has to be Winston.
You think it has to be Winston?
I do. Even though I love Winston this week, but Rivers and Brady are so solid in those matchups. I don't know if I could sit them. I guess for me emotionally, I wouldn't be able to do that with Jameis Winston right now. But I do believe in Jameis Winston, though, too, this week. It's hard. I like all three. Good question, but...
So like that's the interesting point. And, it was like when we talked about the Steelers-Falcons game last week. And how that was supposed to be, fireworks and crazy and blah, blah, blah. And the Falcons basically took a crap and they didn't show up. Now we're saying the same thing here, Falcons, Tampa Bay, and Winston's off of the bye week and he's coming back for his first start of the season here. Is that the possibility? Because I've got nothing but love for the Falcons with Matt Ryan throwing for 355 yards and 10 touchdowns to 1 interception over three home games this year. So I'm digging on Brady against the Chiefs. I could definitely take Rivers. I don't love it completely, but then again, Cleveland's defense gives up a whole lot of points through the air.
Yeah. No, they really, really do. So I guess my feeling is if I saw one big game from Winston, I'd feel more confident sitting someone like, if you had given me some other middling player, I would be like Winston for sure. This is the only reason why I'm hesitant. But ask us again because of weather or different injuries or what have you. We might change our mind by Sunday. And luckily we don't have to decide until Sunday. So ask us again because literally all three of them are great plays this week. And if you are in a bad quarterback situation or if you need to fill in for Breeze, Winston is your guy. All right. PPR flex, Chris Godwin, Will Fuller, or Jimmy Graham?
Here you go again. It's the Godwin factor. It's Tampa Bay. It's a really soft matchup. Falcons ranked 32nd, dead last in the league against that number 3 wideout for the opposition. So, I mean, Godwin on paper looks like a great play here. Can you trust him? I mean, I would trust him over Graham, but yeah.
My problem with Chris Godwin is that he totally messed up in week 3. He had a horrible game. You didn't see it in the box score. If you watched the game, he was hideous. And then in week 4, they cut him way back. 2 targets. He caught both of them. It was like, 22 yards, something like that. I hope he made amends with his coaches over the bye, and they're like, okay, we're going to go back to you. But they also have Desean Jackson, and we know Winston loves to target Mike Evans and Cam. Oh, Cameron Brate. Oh, even though it's a terrible matchup for him this week, rest of season, Cameron Brate, now that it's Winston and O.J. Howard. So I just feel like that's my only hesitation with Godwin. If we could get a healthy Will Fuller, that'd be nice.
Healthy Will Fuller would be great.
Like a must-have, but we don't know if that's happening yet, so I don't feel confident. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna go with your thoughts, Howard, because I'm a little torn on this one because I actually have reservations about all 3. Chicago or Vikings D?
Oh, I'll take the Bears going up against Miami. Any team that's being quarterbacked by Ryan Tannehill and coached by Adam Gase. Yeah, give me the defense opposite that.
I think I saw they scored like 1 fantasy point. I think it was in week 4. In some settings, he scored 1 fantasy point.
Oh, Tannehill. Yeah.
It was beautiful. I was like, what? No, that can't be right. And then I looked and I was like, oh, no, that's right. Yeah, no, that's totally right. Scary. Eagles D, a good play tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a fine play. I mean, again, it's, their secondary really isn't as good as we had hoped it would be. Their run defense is solid. But I think, the short passing game to Barkley could really kind of do some damage. Short passes over to Sheppard could do some damage there. Mm-hmm. I mean, it obviously depends on who else your other defenses are. I don't hate them as a play, but I'm not in love with them.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I feel like this is going to be a really low-scoring game where we're like, oh, Thursday night football. Don't you feel like this is fun for that?
I love that.
Or people are like, I just don't know why we play.
I hate using Thursday players. I hate it.
Oh, this is the worst. Even though like half of the Thursday night football games are really high scoring, but I just don't think this will be one of them because I think both of them are kind of, still finding their way on offense. And Eli Manning is Eli Manning and Carson Wentz is still finding it. And if it's bad weather, however, sometimes the bad weather actually favors the offense. So there might be some good plays in there, but there's just not enough certainty for any of them, in my opinion. What I saw on Monday night, got to be afraid of Alex Smith going forward, right? Yeah, I feel like Alex Smith is always this guy. I mean, I don't know. I mean, when he's in really good matchups where you think he's going to do like Fabu, it's actually when he usually tanks, like on Monday. But he's a
Joey Flacco disease? Yeah.
Yeah, but he's usually a solid high floor option on normal weeks. I know that sounds weird, but what do you think, Howard? Actually,
well, I think what the problem right now is for Smith is that he doesn't have any healthy options. There's nothing. Like Richardson's banged up, Doxson's banged up, Jamison Crowder didn't practice again today. He's banged up. Jordan Reed could be their healthiest guy. And what does that say about a team when Jordan Reed is your healthiest guy?
I just made a joke about that somewhere else. And I said that, Adrian Peterson may have dislocated a shoulder. We've got a real issue here. There's no one there.
He's still practicing. He's coming out there.
Oh, yeah, he's going to come out. I mean, maybe he will. But my point is, I don't think it was all Alex Smith. Did he look great? No, absolutely not. But I do think that he's in a bizarre circumstance where if you look at their roster right now, if you just go to any platform and you look at just Washington, they're literally all questionable except for Alex Smith and Jordan Reed, the entire starting lineup. That's nuts. So I do think it's an issue. D-Jax or Jordan Howard? Oh, Jordan Howard, what are we going to do? What do you think, Howard?
If I'm reading Matt Nagy the right way, this could be a big game for Jordan Howard.
Okay.
If I'm reading Nagy the right way, and what happened was we saw what was going on with the offense, and you look at you look at the game that he allowed Trubisky to have. Like, everybody's complaining that Jordan Howard didn't get any touches during Trubisky's 6-touchdown game. If you're a first-time head coach, okay, and all of a sudden your star player, the guy you need to build your offense around, is slinging the rock and throwing 6 touchdowns and getting that confidence and that swagger that he needs, well, why would you screw around with that? So let him do it and let him go. You take the bye week. He's feeling good. Now you start gearing up your offense and show that, you're not going to put all the pressure on Trubisky to do what he just did. That's your confidence booster. Let's get a more balanced attack here offensively. Miami's the perfect team to do this against. They're soft in the middle as far as the run goes. You're going to have Xavier Howard blanketing Allen Robinson. Yeah. So why not go with a heavy run game here with some good short, quick passes to like Taylor Gabriel and Trey Burton, and really just kind of pound it there, because you're on the road also, so you want to control the clock. So that's how I'm reading it. But I mean, that could just also be wishful thinking.
It's also an awesome matchup though for Tariq Cohen. Every single receiving back that has gone up against them has had at least 50 some yards, and most of them have scored receiving touchdowns. I think this is going to be a little frustrating. Listen, I think Tariq Cohen is like a streamer of the week. I think if you have him, you have to play him. If you look at every single team that they have played, it has been big on the receiving side. I think they'll also run, but I actually don't like Alshon Jeffrey in this game. I don't like Trey Burton in this game. I think they'll just use the two of them the whole time. And there's a possibility that's all they do. And let's be honest here, even though Mitchell Trubisky before the bye had that, unbelievable game, that's that was only the second time he'd ever scored more than one touchdown in a game. So I don't know. I think this is tough stuff, but I would still probably go with him in this over Djax, just because, again, it's Jameis Winston coming back. Winston's guy's Mike Evans. Winston's guy's Cameron Brate. We don't know who he prefers over Godwin or Djax, and I know it's a great matchup. But yeah, I mean, I think sometimes we get it's weird because, like you said this last week too, where you were like, I just feel like you can't fade the chalk. But then sometimes the chalk doesn't work out, Falcons. And so it's hard for me. So I agree with you. I still go Jordan Howard because I believe that there is a bounce back here. Matt Nagy knows that Jordan Howard's a good athlete. He just didn't need him the other week, and he was letting Mitchell Trubisky build his confidence and have a huge game. That's good coaching.
I hope so. I really hope so. I mean, you make a very good point, and I looked at the rankings here, just going across the DVOA numbers, that 23rd against running back pass plays for the Miami Dolphins. It scares me now a little bit, only because, listen, because the other part of me is like, Matt Nagy was the guy who kept yelling at Andy Reid last year, being like, you got to run the ball, you got to run the ball, you got to run the ball.
True.
So is he still on that, or is he like, no, I just want to get my running back involved in the pass plays? Because you can't run the ball with Tariq Cohen. You can't do that up the middle. I mean, you could try. I don't know if it would be successful. So, I'm very torn there, but I'm still going to stand by Jordan Howard. I'm starting him in all my leagues.
Yeah. No, I agree. You have to start Jordan Howard. I just think you also have to start Tariq Cohen, in my opinion, if you haven't. But again, I think it could be both. Adam Humphrey's super sneaky play this week. Maybe. He is a PPR guy with Jameis Winston, but it's such a different team now. And Chris Godwin has been so entrenched. I don't know. How do you feel? I mean, that's really sneaky. That's like really under the radar sneaky.
It's very under the radar. Like if you're playing in a GPP tournament and you're like, you're putting together 20 lineups, then go ahead, get a slice of Adam Humphries in there. But no, I'll still stick with Evans and Brate and Godwin as being all targets ahead. Desean Jackson's still a target ahead of him too. And really, how much work is Humphries going to get if Desean Jackson's coming out of the slot?
I mean, I don't understand how they have this many wide receivers that we're talking about when we haven't even seen the quarterback play, really. I just feel like someone's going to miss out. And so to me, I think it's automatically Humphries, but I think this is intriguing. And by the way, GPPs are different than everything else. The season long, cash games, it's a completely different thing. And so, but listen, either way, what you do want to do, speaking of GPPs, is play fan ball, which is really fun. And if you get the Playbook Pro, which by the way, you get 2 months free, if you go and sign up at fantasyalarm.com/fanball, all you have to do is set up an account and deposit $10, get 2 months free of the Playbook Pro. Pro, which has all of Howard's awesome picks that are winning people a ton of money. I'm telling you, the Playbook Pro has been killing it. You also can go use our tools to win at Fanball. I'm serious. Like, we have optimizers. We have all these tools that are going to help you out. So again, go to fantasyalarm.com/fanball. That is fantasyalarm.com/fanball. Okay. Watkins or Sanders, both leagues PPR.
Watkins or Sanders PPR. Ooh.
Sanders for me.
Sanders for you? Give me the reason why. Because Sammy's not like the primary guy over there?
Yes, because Sammy's not the primary guy over there. I think he'll be fine, but I do think that in terms of full point PPR, I think Sanders is going to get fed the ball. Just a constant thing. I mean, Thomas had a big game last week, but Sanders still was a double-digit guy. That wasn't like a bad week by any means for a lot of people.
Sanders should have blown up at the last minute, and we were talking about this on the live stream yesterday with Impemba. And like the last minute, all of a sudden, it's like Buster Screen got moved from the slot to the outside.
Yeah.
And Buster Screen, who allowed D.D. Westbrook over 100 yards the week before, come out of the slot. I was like, oh my God. I'm like salivating over Emmanuel Sanders.
Yeah.
Demaryius Thomas got that. Now this week, everybody's like, which Colts receiver is going to be covered by Screen? Yeah. Still in concussion protocol there. So, but listen, I mean, this Rams secondary definitely struggling a lot. Was it Nickel Roby? Is that the slot corner for the Rams, trying to keep pace with Sanders?
Well, and I think that what we're talking about here is desperation. I don't even know if it's a matchup thing. It's going to be a forcing of the ball to keep up with the Rams, with or without Cooks and Kupp, frankly. So listen. Also, by the way, Case Keenum scored over 20 fantasy points, even in a horrible game. So sometimes you guys, the fantasy games, you just need to turn off the television, but it's like crazy. I mean, Blake Bortles scored, like, he went over 400 passing yards. When you look actually at the box score after the fact, you're like, are those the games I watched on Sunday? Because it doesn't feel like it.
I couldn't believe when I looked and I saw that.
I was like, oh.
Could not believe over 400 yards for Bortles. I could not believe that.
You know, I love him. He's my best, worst player ever, and I love him so much. And for me, I think Case Keenum is one of those guys. I think it's going to be a huge game. Also, these are the weird games, these trap games that sometimes get funky town. So I also we've seen it before with Sanders, and at bare minimum, we know he's going to get I think he just has a way higher floor than Watkins, and I think they have the same height of ceiling.
Okay, yeah, listen, I'm not going to argue against it. I've always been a big Emmanuel Sanders fan. Case, dig down deep, buddy. Dig down deep.
You can do it, buddy. And you'll throw 4 interceptions. It's fine. One again with Kasem, I think, last week in my 2 QB Superflex league, still undefeated. Rip Jimmy G. Okay. Sorry, I thought that was a question. Chances.
Oh, Taysom Hill. He won with Taysom Hill as his other.
Okay. I thought he was spelling it. Oh, okay. Okay.
That's stupid. That is so aggravating. I mean, congratulations to you for doing it. You got away with something there. So aggravating that Sean Payton continues to give this guy Taysom Hill all these touches inside the red zone. It makes no sense to me. No sense. That should have at least been a Kamara touchdown. I mean, maybe he didn't have any yardage, but at least throw him a bone there. Why are you giving it to Taysom Hill? Why are you running gimmicky plays when you're up 86-3?
I didn't understand why he'd say Taysom in a 2-quarterback league. So I thought he meant Case. Anyway, I was like, what, is this a new nickname? Anyway, no, you're right. 2-quarterback threw me off. Chances Kupp goes. If not, half-point PPR, Eckler, Boyd, or Kuti. I think Kupp may go. But Boyd. I don't know why you're starting Boyd anyway.
Boyd.
Yeah.
Boyd
against the Steelers, the other orange team. All right. A. Smitty has no real weapons, I feel. Correct. That's our Alex Smith man. How do you feel about streaming Darnold this week? I feel neutral about it. It's the Colts. It's not a horrible play, but it's not like my favorite thing that's ever happened. Howard, what about you?
The exact same thing. It's not my favorite play in the world. I'm not going
to write an article about it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, right. Yeah, me neither.
No, we're not going to put that in writing. But listen,
there will be no hot take from me in the morning on Monday about using Sam Darnold.
No, but Listen, we know that people are desperate. It's a weird year. People are trading Kamara all over fantasy. Wow, I agree. If you can get Kamara for any sort of discount, I want you to run, not walk. They just gave him a breather because they were killing the other team. And they didn't need him. And Mark Ingram came back and they're like, sure. Drew Brees got his record. I mean, it was the perfect game script situation that just didn't even, I mean, come on. It was so obviously a breather. It just makes me cranky. Pick one. Dalvin Cook, LaShawn McCoy, or Beast Mode in a revenge game?
Well, you got to go with Beast Mode here because Dalvin Cook, we don't even know if he's going to play or how many touches he's going to get. LaShawn McCoy has not, as far as I'm learning, LaShawn McCoy has not yet been traded to the Philadelphia Eagles, so he still has that same cockapoo value.
Yeah.
What's wrong with listen, I hate Marshawn Lynch on a personal level, but what's wrong with averaging 65 yards and a touchdown per game? I don't understand what's wrong with that.
Yeah, guys, Marshawn Lynch is someone you should be starting as your RB2 or flex every single week, especially with the state of running backs right now. Congratulations, you have Marshawn Lynch. So not congratulations for LaShawn McCoy. I'm sorry that you have LaShawn McCoy. Okay.
Hey, now. Come on.
All right, I'm over at Facebook now. PPR, Javorius Allen or Smallwood in the flex. Let's talk about this Philadelphia backfield. That's a nightmare. Thoughts, Howard?
I think Corey Clement is going to be the lead guy. He's going to see the majority of touches there. I think Wendell Smallwood will see his usual 6 to 8 carries and 5 targets. They like using him in the red zone. It's nice. It really is. I'd probably go with Javorius Allen here, though, because he is the guy that they give the work to in the red zone. There's nothing. Doug Peterson likes to mix it up, likes to shuffle it up. Maybe even Josh Adams gets a couple of carries in tonight's game.
I love Josh Adams.
Do you?
I do. I think he's a great athlete. I couldn't believe he went undrafted. I thought that he'd make an impact on the Eagles. Now they cut him, then they put him in the practice squad, then he moved up, then he moved down, and it's been a journey. But I do like him as a player. If I threw Tariq Cohen in there, who would you rather have? Javorius Allen?
Tariq Cohen.
Yeah, me too. I just think this is a good matchup. Full point PPR, I need 3. Come on, Facebook, stop being weird. Okay, Tyreek Hill, which is an obvious one. Yeah, okay. Julian Edelman, Emmanuel Sanders, Calvin Ridley, or Enunwa. So we really only need 2 because we're obviously starting Tyreek Hill, right, Howard? Right.
Correct.
Okay, so Edelman, Sanders, Ridley, Enunwa.
And you only need 2?
Yeah. Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah, right?
All this, Christian.
I'm kind of saying, I think I'm going to say Edelman and Ridley. I mean, I like Sanders a lot. I really do. But
I agree with you, I think.
I think Edelman against the Chiefs is like a no-brainer. And then Ridley against the Bucks. Again, I think that's, that Matty Ice slings the rock. So I got to put Sanders and Enunwa on the bench.
I agree. And those are both of our teams, too. But we're also pessimists. PPR. We're really terrible.
First world fantasy problems with Brandon.
Exactly. Yeah. PPR. Amari Cooper, Desean Jackson, or Larry Fitzgerald. Now, I want to say something. Guys, is Amari Cooper one of the most frustrating fantasy players that you have to deal with in history? I mean, I don't understand why people do this to themselves. I have 0% Amari Cooper, and I didn't even consider it. And it's so fascinating when we get these questions. Because, yeah, I know Howard's always like, did you listen to us at all? But listen, I mean, the draft goes the way it did, and maybe he dropped far enough where it made sense to you. I'm not going to judge. But, man, I have 0 regrets about Amari Cooper. 0. I don't have anything nice to say. But in this matchup here, he's enticing to me because Larry Fitzgerald is not right. He has so many injuries. But Djax has a higher upside, in my opinion, here. But what do you think, Howard? Just Amari Cooper, just. Ooh.
Yeah, I can't get behind Amari Cooper at all. I mean, he's already had his big game for the year.
Yeah,
he already had it. So I don't know what you're hoping for. Are you hoping for a repeat? He does it once a year. Once a year, he puts up great numbers. I mean, it's so tough. It really is. You look at this matchup for Arizona, and you look at the numbers. Excuse me, for Minnesota's pass defense, and like their pass defense has been just absolute garbage. Mm-hmm. But so you kind of have to figure like Xavier Rhodes is going to be on Chad Williams. And then they're moving Mike Hughes off the slot and into the outside, so he's going to be on Christian Kirk the entire time. So what is it? It's Mckenzie Alexander is the slot corner. I mean, it's a backup slot corner. It's a backup slot corner, actually. Mm-hmm. Going up against Larry Legend here. I know, it's just I don't know, man. Maybe it's my gut, maybe my fat ass gut telling me that this is a week that you can use Larry Legend.
Bounce back. Okay, I think you made a good argument. I agree. I
think the safe play would be Desean Jackson, because you kind of have to figure that Jameis Winston's just going to throw all over the place. Now, whether Jackson actually gets anything, he sees maybe 4 or 5 targets, and he gets that, that one big play that you're hoping for. That's a possibility, and I think that's definitely a possibility with D-Jax. I think that this will be the last week that I go back to the Larry Fitzgerald well and just give it a shot.
One more shot. I respect that. I love Larry Fitzgerald. There's nothing that depresses me more than not immediately saying his name. So I do want to say that. PPR, Chester Rogers or Keelan Cole? Digging deep.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna go Chester Rogers here, though, because the Jets are going with some backup corners here, because Tremaine Johnson's out, so Morris Claiborne's gonna stay on one side of the field, and he's probably gonna be on a lot of Ryan Grant. I think Chester Rogers is the guy who's gonna come out of the slot. Nickelby, I think, is the guy, or Nickerson is the name of the backup slot corner, because Rashard Robinson's going to be on the outside. He's backup for Tremaine Johnson. So I think I would I'd give Chester Rogers a little love. It's not going to be as tasty as if Buster Skrine were actually playing, but I'll tell you that. Check and see, because if Buster Skrine gets cleared at the last minute from concussion protocol and he plays, you totally want the Colts receiver who's going to be facing him. You totally want that, and that would be Chester Rogers.
All right, you guys. So WinView is going to give away free entries to their Monday Night Football main event. And I have to read this because I want to make sure that I get this right so that you get the golden ticket. So basically, all you need to know is that you need to play in 2 paid rooms between now and Monday. And then 4 hours before the main event, you're going to receive a golden ticket. So you're going to be entered into the $10,000 main event on Monday night. Okay, so just go to fantasyalarm.com/WV games. So again, that's fantasyalarm.com/WV games. And you can download the game, get started now. And again, all you need to do is play in 2 paid rooms before now on Monday, 4 hours before the Monday night game. You're going to get that golden ticket, and make sure to go take advantage of it. And you want to use the promo code ALARM. And if you deposit $25 or $20, you get a match as well. So again, it is a promo code ALARM, $20 match. So it's fantasyalarm.com/WV games. Go get started today. All right. Fantastic. Half point PPR. Need one. Chris Carson or Tevin Coleman if Freeman doesn't play.
Ooh, yeah. If Freeman doesn't play, I got to go with Tevin Coleman here.
For sure.
Got it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Mike Davis not going away. Someone said they appreciate us every week. Thank you, Austin. Full point PPR, need a tight end. Njoku or Brait? This is fascinating. Njoku has, I think it was 18 targets over 2 weeks. That is an insane amount of usage. What do we do with this?
Well, I mean, if you own Njoku, you rejoice the fact that Baker Mayfield is there.
Love.
So it comes down to really it's the matchup for me. Chargers covering the tight end.
It's not a great matchup for him. Yeah.
It's not a great matchup. It's not a bad matchup. The thing about with Brait, obviously, though, is that he is Jameis Winston's boy inside the red zone. Had a touchdown last week.
Not a good matchup for him either. That's the only thing Atlanta can defend is the tight end.
Is that right? Are they getting better at the tight end there?
Well, I mean, better as in like they can't defend anything else, so why use a tight end? I mean, that's the problem with some of these matchup ratings is that, if you go back and you look, you're like, yeah, of course they didn't throw to the tight end. Why would they? They were scoring 1 million points with their wide receivers. So, yeah, but So it sounds like you're kind of like leaning towards Brate, maybe because it's also a higher over under. They're going to have to throw to keep up.
I just feel like Brate is your. I feel like Brate is your guy who, I mean, again, with the red zone looks that he's going to get, it doesn't matter if they don't normally go to the tight end, or if Atlanta defends the tight end just as poorly. Then I'm going to have to side with the fact that I saw multiple red zone targets. Should have been 2 touchdowns if Brate didn't get called for that OPI on the first one. So I'll stick with it.
I like it. PPR flex, Sanu, Sheppard, or Valdez Scandalous. Not a typo, LOL. I like it. I go Sheppard. I know it's a bad game, but he does all the short passes. Am I crazy?
No, he does all the short passes. I love Sheppard in this matchup. I really do.
I do too. I get it. It's bad weather, and maybe I'll change my mind when I look at the weather again. But it's hard to sit him right now. Full point PPR need 3. Okay, we already have. No.
Giants also down. By the way, Giants declared Rhett Ellison as inactive for tonight. So both Rhett Ellison and Evan Engram are both inactive for tonight's game here, along with Russell Sheppard. As well. So that kind of tilts me a little bit more towards Sterling even more.
Yeah, I think that he'll be on the field over like 100% of the snaps. It's pretty crazy. Okay, thoughts on Carrion Johnson and Royce Freeman rest of season, and then Eckler over either of them in non-PPR formats. I think Eckler over both of them. To me, it goes Eckler, Royce Freeman, Carrion Johnson.
Agreed.
We would love to tell you that Carrion Johnson's going to get carries, but the coaching staff has decided otherwise. Well. Exactly. But Royce Freeman does get work in the red zone, though.
Sure.
So, I mean, it's not like crazy, but it's not as bad as Carrion Johnson. I mean, there are games where Carrion Johnson just isn't even on the team. Winston or Dalton?
Ooh, well, I mean, I think Dalton's going to be the better play here in this matchup. I mean, it's the Steelers, right? What are you looking at me like that for? Because I'm siding with the ginger, huh? And I never side with the ginger.
I know. I like Andy Dalton a lot this week. Actually, to tell you the truth, my 2 guys that I'm like, oh, go fishing for them are Dalton and Winston. They're my unconventional must starts, and so I kind of have a tough time answering this question. I'm just smiling because it's like this is the world where we live, people. This is the world where we live.
Right. But that doesn't help very much. It just makes me want to kill myself.
Yeah. Again, I guess I would go with Dalton has played more.
Right. Track record, AJ Green, Tyler Boyd.
Like his worst game was last week, and it was because the Joe Mixon has to ease himself in was just a lie. And that I think was the game plan was to trick them.
Huge lie.
Huge lie. Wow. And that's fine. Every once in a while you have to do that. But now everyone's going to know, and so they're going to have to mix it up. I think it's going to be fine. I would probably go with Dalton on this one because he's at home and it's not prime time. So we don't have to be upset.
Right, you start Tom Brady because it is prime time.
Absolutely.
Right, but you put Andy Dalton in the game if it's not prime time, it's just on the side.
Although he played well in primetime this year, so maybe he's broken the spell. Sterling Sheppard or Antonio Callaway, the weather scares me for both, and that's why I would go Sterling Sheppard again. I just think it's too solid. He's going to get too many looks to ignore him. Is Derrick Henry droppable in these desperate running back times? My answer is yes. If the guy, I think the max he scored is 6 fantasy points in PPR settings. What? I don't understand. By the way, Deion Lewis isn't doing too much better. Yeah, right. I mean, it's time to let go. Rams or Jets D?
I go Jets D here against the Colts. Nah. Yeah. I
like both. Listen, if you have the Rams, I don't know why
I
you
like either
them at any point, so I think I'd probably use the Rams.
You're just saying that because you're a pessimist about Denver.
Yeah, well, and also the guy's thrown more interceptions and touchdowns, so.
Wow, there you go. So there it is.
Yeah, the interceptions are really bad, but I think I'd probably play the Rams. 0.5 PPR, Jordan Reed or Jared Cook this week? A healthy Jordan Reed, because these are the times in which we live. I go Jared Cook every week. I'm not going to sit this guy. Any form of PPR. Half or full? Am I crazy?
Guy sees a ton of targets, like a ton of targets. Just looking at matchup numbers here for tight end against Seattle, and then
Not good.
Who the hell else am I looking up? Yeah, I know, right?
It's Jordan Reed. It is
just
a good
a
matchup.
Futile exercise here.
Yeah.
I gotta find Carolina.
Okay, but he was supposed
Carolina
to do well.
27th against the tight end.
Yeah, it's a better matchup for Jordan Reed. I just know that they phase him out sometimes for no reason, and he may be the only target. I would say ask us again on Sunday with this one.
They have no healthy. Yeah, they have no healthy wide receivers.
So maybe it is Jordan Reed on this one. It's just hard to sit a guy who gets double-digit targets every freaking game. I mean, this Jared Cook phenomenon is really annoying.
Right? Do you remember when he was like the big thing when he went to Green Bay?
Yeah, everyone's a big thing when they go to Green Bay. Oh. All right, Hyde or Emmanuel Sanders at the flex? Did we answer this one? I think we go Hyde here, right?
Yeah, I gotta go Hyde here. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Need 2 running backs ASAP. Clement, Hines, Crowell, or Peterson. You can't play Peterson if he has a dislocated shoulder, in my opinion.
Right.
So he's out for me. I think you go Crowell and Hines here. If it's PPR, it doesn't say.
Well, who's the first name?
Clement, which I'm okay with Clement too.
I would go Clement and Hines because Crowell missed another practice today.
Although Marlon Mack's coming back. Are you worried about that? Listen, I don't know. We don't know what this guy's like as a football player. Maybe he's never coming back. Is that the joke? I can't decide what the joke is.
The joke is Marlon Mack.
Okay, well, all I'm saying is.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I know he's coming back, but to me, Hines is still the pass catching back in that backfield. And if Crowell is limited because he's missing some practice, then they're going to go with Bilal Powell a little bit more. You got to think.
Okay.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Okay. Do you like Big Ben or Wentz? To me, it's Big Ben, no problem.
Big Ben or Wentz? Yes, Big Ben in the non-rain.
And I know that he is away, but he usually plays well against Cincinnati away, so I'm okay with it. Edelman or Boyd, full point PPR.
Ooh.
Oh, get them both in there.
I know, right? How do you have to choose between one? If I have to choose one or the other, I'll probably go with Edelman and hate myself for it because I do love Boyd and I love what he's got going on. But, I mean, Edelman, primetime, Tommy Blue Eyes. You know what? Can we go to the voice from above? I believe we've got a little John and Pemba sighting here. John, can you get a ruling on this one here? Is Tommy Blue Eyes going to go nuts with the Chiefs, or are we looking at a heavy ground attack here?
No, even with Sony Michel, who's been limited at practice this week, I think this is all Tom Brady, all Julian Edelman, and the rest of that pass attack against the Chiefs, in my opinion.
And my boyfriend, James White.
Oh, for sure, James White. Big James White week.
All right. I like it. I'll go Edelman over Boyd, but I do like both. Edelman, Corey Davis, Nelson Aguilar, Desean Jackson, PPR flex. I think we say Edelman again, right?
Yes.
Beautiful. I have Diggs and James White in the flex. Oh, that's what he's saying, where he's deciding between Edelman or Boyd.
Ooh.
Okay, well, yeah, that's pretty good. Except for, well...
Now all of a sudden,
now all of a sudden he's got Diggs for Boyd. I know that sounds crazy, but...
And you're comfortable with both Patriots in there, James White and Julian Edelman.
Yeah, I think that's all he does is short passes. We know it's not going to be Chris Hogan, who's also sitting out of practice. I mean, Josh Gordon will probably get one touchdown and everyone will, be all giddy again because people are nuts. I'm like, okay, you guys, only 2 catches. Like,
that was a beautiful moment.
It's a beautiful, yeah. I was like, oh, gosh. Okay.
He's forever linked to Tom Brady for the rest of his life. Josh Gordon catches the 500 touchdown pass of Tommy Blue Eyes' career.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And the flex, Chris Carson or Philip Lindsay? I would go Philip Lindsay.
I'm going to go Chris Carson.
Really?
I don't like Oakland's run defense, and I love the fact that Seattle, in the last 3 games, okay, Seattle has run the ball with those 2 guys at least 30 times with Davis and Carson. And Carson gets that lead role there He's better in a PPR format than Davis is. But he does get the goal line work. I mean, I wrote an article in the New York Post about this. There's also an audio clip on fantasyalarm.com where I broke it down. I mean, it was absolutely crazy as far as the numbers went. You ready for this, Brandon? Did we talk about this already?
No.
You and I talk about this? So
no.
I tracked it. So the touchdown, the almost touchdown pass when Pete Carroll lost the Super Bowl, okay, and Malcolm Butler intercepted Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
From that moment on, you watched as the Seahawks became this pass-first team. Russell Wilson's numbers went crazy. There was no backfield there. They didn't have Marshawn Lynch. They bounced around with a couple of guys who just really never panned out for them. And if you looked at their win totals and as a team and their overall numbers, the only numbers that were improving were Russell Wilson's passing yards and his rushing yards. So they try it again this year. They start off the first 2 games. They run the ball in the first game 14 times, the second game 19 times. They didn't clear 60 yards on either one of those games. They lost them both. Boom. Week 3, Chris Carson, 32 touches out of the backfield. I think you had another 3 from Rashad Penny, 107 yards. Week 4, 30 touches out of the backfield, 150 yards. Last week, they won those 2 games. Then last week, they lose a heartbreaker to the Rams, but they run the ball 32 times, 184 rushing yards for them. Everybody's like, "Oh, Doug Baldwin." They're running the ball now. Pete Carroll has gone back to this run-first mentality here, and you're getting great numbers here especially in comparison to the crap we've seen from the running back position. All of a sudden, to me, Chris Carson and Mike Davis become viable running backs to use as like an RB2 or even a flex play. So,
this is all because Doug Baldwin's not there and because they never replaced Paul Richardson. This is all. It's very simple. They have to run because the offensive line also.
The offensive line is a lot better at run blocking than it is at pass blocking.
Yeah, they really are. They're much better at that. Yeah, and it just comes down to personnel matters. Okay, when you don't have players to do things, you can't do them anymore. I mean, Tyler Lockett's actually having a very solid fantasy year. If you want someone, listen, he's gonna get you 4 catches, 55 yards and a touchdown pretty much every single week, which is solid numbers for where you got to draft him this year. Okay, you can still get him cheap in almost every DFS format. Maybe one of the steadiest fantasy wide receivers in the National Football League right now. But he's not going to be able to put up massive numbers because there's no one else to defend. So he's actually doing that with a ton of coverage on him. But what's happening is even when they're going up to the line and they're putting everyone in the box, it doesn't matter because you're right. They're just so much better at that job. So it's just better for them. And when you put that kind of volume on there, it's great. I'm fine with it. I just also think that Mike Davis could vulture a lot. I don't like that it's a complete share, but you're right. There's a lot of points there, so I'm fine with it. And Lindsay's in a share too, so you do you. Full point PPR, Jared Cook or Austin Hooper? Tight end whisperer, talk to me. I like both of them.
I do like both of them, yeah. And I mean, Austin Hooper's numbers look fantastic, and he's getting a heavier dose of targets. Tampa Bay really struggles against the tight end, so I'm more inclined to use Hooper and have them continue down this path. I think with Matt Ryan slinging the rock at home, I think a lot of people eat. I think you can get Julio Jones and Austin Hooper and Mohamed Sanu all in the action there.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Also, if you're playing DFS this week, in the main slate, there are no tight ends. Okay, there's no Zach Ertz. There's no Rob Gronkowski. There's no Travis Kelce. There's not even George Kittle there. You are just swimming in a sea of mediocrity. So Austin Hooper looks fantastic.
I got a message from Mpemba, who was like, and he's your guy. I'm forever linked to Austin Hooper. Forever.
Yeah, forever.
He will always be my guy.
Can't stop, won't stop. Pick 2, Bilal Powell, Lamar Miller, or Alfred Morris, 10-team PPR.
I'll go Bilal Powell and Alfred Morris here.
Yeah, I think it could be Alfred Blue. We need to figure out what's going on. Another team that's all questionable is the Houston Texans. I wish I could tell you anything about the Houston Texans or the Washington Redskins, but I can't. They're all questionable, and we don't have any idea, especially until Sunday.
Can you tell me if Donta Foreman is worth a stash? Should I drop somebody off my roster so I can stash Donta Foreman?
Right. It's someone like Kenny Golladay. Yeah, no, I'm going to say no to that. Boyd, Ridley, or Woods need 2 PPR.
Boyd, Ridley, or Robert Woods?
Yeah, it's so good.
Oh, that is good. That is good.
Delicious.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of feel, I
think I kind of go Boyd Woods on this.
And skip Ridley. I think Ridley doesn't eat again in another big passing attack. I think
he's the least high of a floor. So it depends. If you need a ceiling, Calvin Ridley obviously has like multi-touchdown ceiling. But Boyd may have the safest floor of the week.
Yeah, definitely.
If no one's playing.
Well, yeah. See, there you go. I mean, if Cooper Kupp or Brandon Cooks is out, then I'm definitely more inclined to go with Robert Woods here. And I would probably use him over Boyd.
Okay. I can respect that. I like all of these players. I almost feel like you need to ask us this question again on Sunday, just because if things happen, I might change my mind on it, because there's such a small window between the 3 players, and I don't want to lead you astray. Half-point PPR, we already said Tevin Coleman over Chris Carson if Freeman doesn't play, correct?
Yes. If Freeman doesn't play, you got to get Coleman in there.
Okay. Here's a question. Sterling Sheppard or Cooper Kupp, non-PPR. I still go Sheppard because we're just not – concussions are too weird. Until we know he's playing, I can't say Kupp since Sheppard's playing tonight. Agreed?
Yeah, agreed. Can I ask you a question here? Mike Williams or Wendell Smallwood in the flex?
I think I might go Smallwood.
That's what I was thinking too.
If I need to take a chance, if I need to swing for the fences, I go Smallwood. I think Mike Williams will be okay, but I don't think he'll have it. I don't think he has the same ceiling any bad weather game as Wendell Smallwood. If Freeman plays in half-point PPR, I need 1. Tevin Coleman, Dalvin Cook, Alex Collins, or Chris Carson. So basically he's saying if Freeman doesn't play, he's going to play Tevin Coleman. Agreed. Yep. If he does play, would you still play Tevin Coleman, or would you play Dalvin Cook, Alex Collins, or Chris Carson? You'd probably say Chris Carson, right?
I think I would lean towards Chris Carson. Yeah. I do think that Coleman can eat even if Freeman does play. But I think if Freeman, I just don't see them really limiting. I mean, maybe they do limit Freeman. I don't know. Again, a lot of passing for the Falcons this week. And Coleman, if he's the only guy.
They give up so many guys. Tampa Bay gives up more fantasy points than the Falcons, and everyone's saying to play all of the Bucks. And I think we're just scared because we saw what happened last week with the Falcons. But then the Falcons can put up. I mean, I could see Matt Ryan putting up 45 fantasy points this weekend. Okay, you guys, they bounce back all the time. I think that's what's happening here again. I think I'm playing as many Falcons and as many Tampa Bay Bucks as I possibly can, and I don't know. I'm just not even going to stop. Can't stop, won't stop. So there you go. Rudolph Olson. I'm not playing Olson until I see him do something. And I know I'm alone on this, but I got burned by this last year.
You're not alone on it at all.
No.
You're the only one who's actually acknowledged that. I thought I was like the only one telling people, I'm like, didn't Greg Olson come back from a similar injury and surgery early last year? And then like 3 plays later, he was gone.
Yes.
And like nobody remembers that.
Again. I don't know. I'm not doing it, especially over Rudolph. Why? Okay. PPR, tight end. We need Cook, Kittle, or Olson.
Cook, Kittle, or Olson. Well, it's definitely not Olson. I'd probably go Jared Cook.
Yeah, and then I'd go Kittle, and then I'd go Olson. It's very clear to me. And listen, we can always be wrong, and we always are, because football is crazy. I'm telling you, but that is how we see it here. I feel more comfortable with starting Diggs, Edelman, and White this week. Boyd made it tough for sure. I'm fine with that. I got Thielen, Julio, Edelman, Corey Davis, Nelson Aguilar, Jackson, and got no running backs beside Fournette. So do I trade Julio for a running back?
Man,
you would have to get such a bounty to trade Julio, right?
Yeah.
Because like Edelman and Corey Davis, Nelson Aguilar, and Desean Jackson, I don't think they're good enough to not have a Julio.
No, I don't think so either. I'm looking at the question right now. So I got a Thielen, a Edelman, and a Davis, blah, blah, blah. No running backs besides Fournette. So I trade Julio. I mean, you just have to make sure that you're getting a rock-solid running back for him. Like, I mean, if you're going to trade him...
And who's going to give that to you? Who's going to give away a running back
right that's
now?
the problem. Like, you're not going to take somebody that's, like, less than Melvin Gordon. And the dude who owns Melvin Gordon certainly isn't going to give you that for Julio because he hasn't gotten into the end zone there. I think you got to start a little smaller there, hold on to Julio, and maybe deal somebody like Edelman or Davis, or even like a Desean Jackson. If Desean Jackson has like a good game this week, then you trade one of those guys and you patch it up with lesser running backs.
Yeah, I agree. And I think what you do is you target one of those Mike Davis, Chris Carson types, or someone that it's not like fabulous, but at least they're going to have a high floor, because that's all you need right now if you have these guys at wide receiver. You need high floor running backs that are boring. And let me tell you, if Jordan Howard has another bad game, I want you to run, not walk. And I want you to offer up Nelson Aguilar first, and then if they say no, you say Corey Davis, and you get Jordan Howard. Okay?
Yeah.
There you go. Superflex League, would you go Eli or Keenum?
Ooh, I'm going to go with Keenum.
I know. With the rain,
I'm
you
not
have
gonna
to.
love myself here.
I mean, take a shower first. But, yeah, I agree. I'm going to go Keenum. Okay. Howard got out-touched by Cohen when the game flow was in his favor. I will never trust him again. You guys, we have to have a short memory when we're talking about players, because that was a very specific game plan decision, which was smart. And by the way, Nagy is one of those guys who looks at analytics. He's big on going with game plan, just like our boy Bill Belichick, who does game plans. And sometimes people get left out. And in this one, it was Jordan Howard. I'm not going to throw out the baby with the bathwater. But here's a question, though. Would you play Cohen over Howard? I have both in PPR. I think in PPR I would play Cohen over Howard, but I think in standard or half point I would not. Thoughts?
No, I'm not going to give my thoughts on that. I refuse.
Okay.
I refuse. I'm just because you know what? Because you're right.
Depressing.
And I know you're right, and it bums me out, and so I'm just going to shut up and not give you my answer there, because I'm going to be stupid. I'm going to be stubborn. I'm going to start Jordan Howard no matter what.
I like it. Also, again, this is game plan. If you look at what the pass catchers do against Miami, that's the thing that I'm looking at here. I don't believe every week I would start Cohen over Howard in PPR leagues just against Miami. Who's more droppable, Doug Baldwin or Royce Freeman? I say Doug Baldwin because there are no running backs. He is a Philip Lindsay injury away from being a bell cow back and maybe winning you your league. And listen, we never wish injuries on anyone, and I don't see any reason why Philip Lindsay would be injured. But But Doug Baldwin may never be healthy this year.
No, he might not be healthy this year, and that's definitely a possibility. Is wondering whether or not this is really the reason for them turning around and going with a more run-heavy scheme, only because they just don't have confidence in their passing game at all. Offensive line can't pass protect. Doug Baldwin's not healthy. It's taking him harder for him to run his routes. I mean, that's definitely, I would definitely kind of shy away from that.
Yeah, and listen, I don't want you to drop either of them because they both have name value. Even like the Philip Lindsay guy would like to get the Royce Freeman guy on his team. So I would not drop if I could. I would just trade. But yeah, certainly. I just think it's also easier to replace a wide receiver right now because there are no running backs. I mean, people are begging to start Bilal Powell. I mean, that's the world we live in. All right. Have to believe this week in Gronk, right? Yeah. Listen, tight ends are also trash. So I don't know. Yeah, you have to start Gronk. Sorry. I don't know. I don't want to be insensitive, but sorry. I think Gronk has one total red zone target all year. You never know. Yeah, I mean, I agree again, but you guys, he has a ton of catches and he's at least has a high floor. Half point PPR, Carson or Tevin Coleman, if Freeman doesn't, I did that. Phillip Rivers or Russell Wilson?
Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, I think so. You have to because they're running the ball a lot. Brady ready to make a point. Agreed. All of a sudden, the Colts look like a rebuild. Yeah, I mean, they have the whole time, right? I mean, they're tragic. Pick one. Chris Thompson, Dion Lewis, Jordy Nelson, non-PPR. Jordy Nelson's been solid for 3 weeks, at least in PPR formats, yeah. I think I'd still go Chris Thompson if he's healthy, especially if Adrian Peterson is not / dislocated his shoulder.
Right, yeah. I mean, that's the thing is you just have to check on Chris Thompson's health. If he's good to go, is it a rib injury? that he's been dealing with. Not the end of the world there.
Yeah. Yeah.
He should have like wear a little bit of a flak jacket and kind of take care of himself that way. But yeah, I'm with you there that if he's healthy and Peterson obviously is not, then that would be the play.
Give love to Beathard. LOL. Are the Packers a Super Bowl team?
Why? I just want to know why I got to give love to Beathard.
I don't know.
Why?
Why? Because he scored a ton of fantasy points. Upset special maybe by the Niners. Same person. Listen, sure.
Is this like at SF 49ers #1 fan?
Yeah.
Is that who
this is actually CJ Beathard's burner account.
Right.
He's free because it's Thursday night. He's contacting us. Hey, we get it, CJ. You're great. Only because I have DeAndre Hopkins and Thielen is. Oh, I don't know what that's for. Deep League, pick one. Adam Humphreys, Chester Rogers, Taywan Taylor, or Jeff Swaim. Half-point PPR.
I'll go Chester Rogers.
Yeah, but again, Jeff Swaim is the #1 receiver in Dallas. Woo! That doesn't say much, everybody. Not hanging with Mr. Cooper. Very true. What do you think about Baker Mayfield this week?
What do I think of Baker Mayfield this week? I mean, probably the same thing I think about Baker Mayfield every week. I think that he's got, when he has a favorable situation, it's something that you can use. Do I see him being a guy who has like 300-yard, 3-touchdown potential? No, not really. I see him as like a 260, 270-yard guy who will throw like 2 touchdowns and 2 picks on a regular basis. So, that's, to me, there's nothing special about Baker Mayfield right now from a fantasy standpoint. Magical for the Browns right now, but from a fantasy standpoint, bit.
Okay. A couple more quick hits before we get out of here because it's 6 o'clock. Number 1 is, how do you feel about Aaron Jones and everyone's massive disappointment that Green Bay didn't just hand him the keys to the city?
I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
No, I just think that the whole week has been about everyone whining about how Aaron Jones isn't getting like all the touches that he deserves. But it's very clear that the team doesn't feel that way. How do we move forward as fantasy people?
As a fantasy person, listen, Mike McCarthy's he came out and said it. He's like, he obviously does not like Aaron Jones's pass blocking. That's basically it's what he said. He did not give him the touches. And then the following and Monday morning, that was exactly what he said. He said, if there's more to being a running back in the NFL than just carrying the football, okay, which implies that it's the pass blocking and that's the issue. And if that means that Jamal Williams is going to get those snaps because of it was like 50 some odd snaps on passing downs, and I think he had 6 for Aaron Jones out of that 50 some odd.
I said this weeks ago. I was like, this is the problem, is they're going to keep him on there because it is more important to them that they keep Aaron Rodgers alive than for Aaron Jones to be a running back superstar. And I think that's really what McCarthy's thinking about. He's like, we got to hurt quarterback, and I'm not going to do that. Okay, great. Well, the only other question that I have here is I'm just going to ask this one. Need 2 running backs for PPR. It's a lot of mediocrity here, and I think that's why this is fun. Bilal Powell, Devonta Freeman.
Are we writing these down?
Yeah, sorry. The last one is a writer. Lamar Miller. Wendell Smallwood. Latavius Murray.
Lat Murray.
Final thoughts. Which 2 would you pick and why?
Oh, I just need 2 of these?
Mm-hmm.
Is that Royce or Devonta Freeman? I'm sorry.
Devonta.
All right.
D-Man. D. Freeman.
So I'm going to rule out Miller and Smallwood here right off the bat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, listen, because to me, well, I guess I can't really rule out. I mean, I don't want to start Smallwood here and commit because here's the problem: is that you don't know how much work Dalvin Cook's going to get, or even if he's going to play just yet. They say that he's back at practice and whatnot, but is Lat Murray going to get the majority of work there? Devonta Freeman, is he even going to play? We don't know if he's going to play yet or not.
Yeah, that's why I think you might have to play Smallwood, because I'm not quite sure any of these guys are going to play.
So you think you just got to go Powell and Smallwood because those are the only two guys who you think are guaranteed touches here?
Yeah, I think so. I hate it. I didn't say I liked it. But if you wait on Smallwood and Dalvin Cook's in there, Lamar Miller doesn't play, Freeman doesn't play, then you're just left with Bilal Powell, and that's it. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think this question stinks, which is why I left it to last, but I don't know. Either that or you take a chance and you think, man, all three of those situations can't work out not in my favor. One will work out, and then that's fine. Then I'd agree with you. So I think this is about how much you want to do risk. And for me, I'm a little scaredy cat, so I'd probably go Smallwood, but I understand that that's not the high upside choice here. So it's a little sad. But all right, you guys, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. It is a game day. Go set your lineups. We're going to go set our lineups. Howard and I have been nutty, so we got to go do that. But thank you so much. We'll be here Sunday morning. All right. Talk to you soon, everybody. Bye, FA Nation. Bye.
Peace.